Hey everyone, welcome to our first group call of February. How about that? So awesome. Ezra is here. He just got in, so he's having a bite to eat, and Rocket is bothering him. Well, he's come here, Rocket. Come sit with me. Instead of putting Ezra on the spot for our metaphor check-in, who else would like to be starting us off with the metaphor check-in? Any volunteers? Hugh. All right, Hugh, go ahead. We're a small group today, so I'll just keep us all in gallery view if that's all right.
That's fine. I think when you say gallery view, because I'm seeing only speaker view. When you set to gallery view, it's only for you.
Only for me. So you can put it into gallery view if you
I can
want.
put it in gallery view myself.
And if you don't want to see yourself, you can always hide self. You can do hide self view.
Oh yeah, I never want to look at myself.
Me neither. But I'm teaching it. It's on the I need to be on camera. So cool. So what's your? Oh, I have a fun question. In addition to your metaphor check-in,
Sure.
I want to know what your go-to or favorite hand gesture is. Maybe an unconscious gesture or maybe a conscious gesture. Because as I before I hit record, I was telling Nicole I listened to an audio today about how hand movements that accompany speech are still a very important part of communication, and most of the time we don't realize, and it carries information in addition to what we say. So.
Yeah. Well, today at work, most of my hand gestures were like this.
Yeah, covering your eyes. Okay.
Just face palm is just absurdity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hand gesture. It's interesting. I don't know. I'll have to think about that more. As far as my metaphor check-in, I've been doing a lot of work on my book one now that it's in 3 parts, and I've been diving into the inciting incident for the whole book, the global inciting incident, and spending some time thinking about what's the big thing that happens at the beginning, which is the appearance of this impossible monster, and it throws kind of reality off of its kind of off kilter, and what it's really doing to the protagonist. And I mean, everything's done from the point of view of the protagonist. So how does this upend his life? This, as they say in the Story Grid YouTube video, is this big ball of chaos that just sort of flies into your life. And I'm doing a lot of thinking about how he reacts, and this is teaching me a lot about who he is, and I feel like I'm sort of like exploring caves, because I'm figuring out bits and pieces of my protagonist's personality. Oh, there's a little side cave, and I said, well, how would he react there? And I get other ideas about it, and as you've been encouraging me, Beth, think more about his childhood and his upbringing at the Magic Academy, and how does that inform what he's going through right now. So all these little side passages in this cave exploring, it's interesting. There are moments when I just sort of sit there, I'm really not sure, and there are other moments where some ideas are coming up. So it's then it's given me thoughts for, now that he's reacting like this, and this is bad for him, how are the next part, progressive complications? How can this actually get worse for him?
Yeah.
And I got a whole list. So yeah. So it's a lot of cave exploring and looking for bats and rocks to throw.
Yeah. And the word spelunking comes to mind.
Spelunking, that's the word. Yes. I had it in my head earlier, and it went out, and yes, spelunking.
Spelunking. Yeah. And and just in terms of gestures, can I reflect back? You did a lot of gesturing just now when you were talking.
All right.
Things, putting your hands together in kind of like that prayer mode.
Yeah.
Kind of like this when you talked about the caves, like this, moving your arms outward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the face palm. Yeah. So it's just interesting, right? How much we use gestures as a way to complement, and actually this professor thinks it holds information that might not be in our words. So it's like added information, and Zoom can kind of delete that information from our visual field because we often don't see people's hand gestures. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm experimented right now with moving my camera so the top of my head is toward the top of the camera, and hopefully my hands can fly around, and you can see more information about my communication. So really cool. Thanks. And we love your purple background of your room, Hugh.
Yeah, it's my plant lights.
Plant lights. Yeah.
I've got them on full because my Christmas cactus is blooming.
Right. Tis the
Cool.
I'm gonna bring it over and show it to you. But
Yeah. That sounds good. And while he does that, we have a cat in the frame, Rocket, wanting all this petting. Ooh, look how pretty your cactus is. All those magenta
Wow,
colors. Incredible. Can you see?
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really beautiful.
it's never bloomed like this before. No, this is unbelievable.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop taking up time and let other people talk.
That's all right. Great. Thank you so much.
The one in our bathroom has barely started one shoot.
Oh,
So
yeah. And we have one sitting outside. I haven't checked it. I did see my cyclamen has bloomed, which is similar purple magenta color. Trent, you want to go next?
sure, why not?
Thank you so much for coming. Very glad it worked out. I know because I texted you earlier saying, hey,
Right, yeah.
where's the words?
I totally, Okay, so you know how you're going along the highway and you're going along and all of a sudden a truck comes out of nowhere and smacks into you?
Oh,
Well, that was my Monday morning because basically it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but I had another small stroke.
oh no.
So fortunately it doesn't have too much physical effect. Basically my right hand is moving a little slower than it used to. So fortunately, thank you, Hugh. I see the heart.
Yeah.
And I thank you for your concern, but I think it's just another wake up call of hello, you're not being healthy, and you're not following the rules that you know you should. So
Mhm.
hello there again, and the fact that I'm almost 60, is like those reminders are coming more fast and often anyways.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's where I was at
Yeah.
this week I spent, and then I had the worst hospital experience because basically, and I didn't know that Monday mornings were bad for hospitals, but apparently they are. And I had to wait 6.5 hours before I could get in and get an MRI.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just insane. And so it was like I was up from, waking up normal in the morning, but I was then up until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
And it's just so insane. Eventually I did get 3 hours sleep, but that's not enough to live on. And so I got 15 hours sleep last night. So
Good. Good. Well, and on top of that, you sent me words, which we'll go over later today.
yes, I did,
Yeah.
because yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
Thanks
and
for-
as far as gestures, I think more than anything, it's like get
waving.
out of here. That's what I'm always doing. Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a wave to describe to Nicole, like waving your hands in front of you, like shooing away. something. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for
I
those.
like that very much, Hugh. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for those good wishes, Hugh. And did you want to do any metaphor check-in around writing?
Oh, around writing. Well, I guess that was just my life.
Your
currently.
life was the trek.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so basically, it's the same because it was basically completely took me off track. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can get back.
Yeah. Well, I too wish you good healing energy and really appreciate that you are showing up here today to be in community and also for us to wish you good wishes and to put attention on.
Helpful to me.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Good. Good. Well, thank you. All right, let's check in with Nicole.
Okay.
Nicole.
So I guess my metaphor check-in, I guess saving cats.
Cats.
Nice.
Oh, our cat appreciates that.
Yeah.
And I know you said you don't do any gesturing or hand movements, but do you notice if you use shrugs or sometimes we move our head when we talk? Do you know any kind of body movements that accompany your speech whenever you're talking?
Mhm.
Okay, something to think about. Great. Well, if you can, just a reminder, so we're at the beginning of February. If you can send us your words like by mid-March, because I want to look at your words by the end of March, which is
Yep.
yeah, cool. And great. And then last but not least, it is
Our turn.
our turn, your turn and my turn. You want to go first?
I'm sure. So, metaphor check-in is
Camera looks blurry.
you know how you're walking a couple of miles and you end up where you started? This is actually a fun thing. This is where I'm going through my work and I'm adding description and I'm making a parallel between the witch's cave and the church when the character goes first in the witch's cave, describes it a certain way, and then using that same language and the same feelings he has when he goes into the witch's cave, I use those words to describe when he goes into the church. He has similar feelings. And so having that parallel come full circle, like walking around, I think hopefully it looks effective and doesn't look silly. I'll find out from feedback from Beth's edits.
Great.
Gestures, I'd say it's moving my hand along, but a cat is required to meet the hand so that
Rocket is like looking at Ezra's hand like it should be petting me. All right, hold on a sec, guys. All right. My camera still looks blurry. Okay, thank you for that. Metaphor check-in. All right, I guess I'll do my metaphor check-in. Let's see. Okay, let's see where this goes. I feel like I am on a big schooner, an 18th century schooner ship, and I'm part of the crew and I'm pulling rigging and I'm doing my job, and I have the sea legs where it's normal to be on a rocking ship, and it's hard work, and the elements are the water and the sun, and I'm having a blast, and I have no idea like when we're getting into port, but I'm just enjoying the ride. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm researching maritime law. So that's kind of part of it too.
good.
Yeah. And space law as well. Cool. And then gestures. I notice I do this sort of circular gesture a lot, where I'm making circles with both hands. And I know sometimes I do sort of this pointing, pounding gesture. Because Ezra will tell me when we're trying to go to sleep and I'm excited and I'm animated, and I'll make this sort of pointed gesture, like making a point, and he's like, "Stop it!" I'm trying to
It
sleep.
shakes the bed.
Shakes the bed. So, so it's like pounding a gavel, you know, as if I were a judge or something. I don't know. So that's mine. I'm not sure what it communicates. I'm like driving a point home. That's what it
yeah.
feels like, right?
Yeah,
Knock,
that's what
knock,
it
knock with the
feels
mallet
like, yeah.
on the handle. Yeah, interesting. Just real quick about this study of gesture and meaning is you can, well, if in teaching, if you use gestures to teach, especially with small children, those gestures will like add an additional amount of information and often make the learning easier for the kids. That's just one piece of the finding.
Today I taught the entire class in interpretive dance.
There you go. Ezra often makes that joke.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. All right, let's do a writing exercise. Everyone ready? All right, here's the preface for the writing exercise. In 2 to 4 sentences, I want you to describe the weather from your point of view, character, perspective, and that's it. So weather and setting, really. See if you can put weather. Weather is going to indicate setting in some way. So use any and all the senses you want. Pick a moment in your story, maybe a place you're editing right now, or Nicole, in your case, a place that you're writing, creating some new content, and play around with 2 to 4 sentences about your setting. Oh, and I left my timer in the other room. So I'll just be watching the time. And any questions?
I got a little distracted. Could you wrap that up again?
Sure. This is just
All
a free write to play with writing about the weather and setting. Write about the weather and setting from your character's perspective.
Cool.
2
Gotcha.
to 4 sentences. Good. And I'm just going to turn everything off so you can write. And we'll go for 5 minutes max, up to 5:55 Pacific, 55 wherever you are at. Okay. On max, get set, go. Alrighty, that was 5 minutes. If you can finish up and post in the comments your sentence if you want, or you can also just read it aloud and see what you got. Let's go through these and just share. Then we're going to do an exercise around complex sentences. All right, we have Ezra's. Anybody else want to share? Coming in.
Nice.
Ooh, we got Hughes. Excellent. Did you create something, Nicole?
Yep.
Great. Why don't we start with you then? You want to read what you created? What happened to?
Well,
No.
I'll have to do it.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Nicole.
Oh, I was going to say I'll have to do it. I mean, I guess my computer could read it, but I don't know if you all would be able to hear it from here.
Sure, we could try.
Hang on. Let me mute it, and then I'll switch over to.
I don't know what she's going to do that. And Trent, do you have something? Do I see it?
It's not there yet.
Hugh, did you like take yours away and put it back? Or you?
I had a bunch of typos that I had to fix. It was awful. So I fixed them and I put it back.
That's cool. I didn't know you could delete a comment. And then
Yeah.
that's nice. They added all kinds of new features. Well, while Nicole is working on that, Ezra, you want to read Hugh's and then maybe yours and then Trent's? And then...
Great. He wrote, Tobai rarely got this cold at the academy, and never for this long. The weather was always predictable, controlled. He knew when a caretaker would bring the rain to the fields to nourish the trees, or the snow to the hills to stimulate the bulbs to grow. Heavy wind was only to help clean or challenge students. Lightning was mainly to show off. In the outside world, however, a rogue breeze would chill him. A storm could appear, and he had no way of knowing, of preparing. How did people live like this?
Really, really
It's fun.
great, Hugh. I love how when a character is getting to know a new world, you compare it to what they know and what they've experienced.
Yeah, that's
really
cool.
nice. Good. Was that fun? Did you enjoy that?
Oh yeah. It's just something brand new for my character and just it's great.
Awesome.
And by the way, Trent, your post was you accidentally sent to me in a direct message.
Oh,
that's
can
fine.
you, Hugh, just put it in the chat then for us?
Yeah, I could send Trent. Oh no, he's got it.
He's got it. All right.
Trent writes, all day the weather got worse and worse. The sky was a dirty handkerchief while the drizzle soaks through the clothes. It got worse and worse until we finally found shelter. Nothing is more depressing than slogging through the mud and being unable to reach a single thing that's dry.
Awesome.
I could relate.
Really giving us the experience. Yeah, Ezra has had to walk in the rain recently. Yeah. Yeah. How was that, Brent? Was that fun?
I was okay. I felt a little stressed, but other than that,
Yeah. First drafting it. Yeah.
because I was writing it on my my other computer and then trying to transfer it and then sending it to Hugh instead of sending it to all you guys.
Yeah. Tech issues. Yeah, no problem. Ezra, you want to read yours?
Right.
And then we'll go to you, Nicole.
Would the road be dry enough to ambush the carriage and steal the king's treasure? Mary scanned the sky. The clouds were keeping secrets, pregnant with rain, hiding their child. If she were to steal the king's treasure, better to wait until the sun placed the clouds under oath.
Interesting. I'm not really sure what that visual is. The sun placing the clouds under oath.
Yeah.
Anyway, good first draft. Good first draft. Really keeping in the voice of your character. Pregnant with Rain. Yes, Hugh likes that a lot. Sweet. Yes, very, very fun. Nicole, did you manage to figure that out for us?
Yep. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it though. But
Try it and we'll see. If we can't, we can't. But
okay.
Elementals were apparently taking a vacation, as there was no rain in sight. The first sun's rays warmed his green skin, and he had unbuttoned the top of his flannel suit to access the inner cooling chamber. He turned towards the crowd of expectant followers. Marche, water circle, the closest wood elemental ray.
Okay, so that's as far as I got. I
Yeah.
don't know if you all were able to hear that, but
a little bit
Yeah.
about the rain potential. And I loved how you included the people's clothing. And I got a sense that you're writing from someone's perspective, a character's perspective. So we look forward to seeing that in a segment that you send us.
yep.
And reading that. Great. Good job. I'm really glad that you did that. I didn't do the exercise because I was like walking around and doing things. So really fun. We'll do some more next time. Stay tuned.
Yep.
Same bad channel. Great. Well, let's dive into an exercise. And we're going to do a lesson on complex sentences. And part of it includes a little video I found on YouTube. And so we're going to do that. So, but to start off with another little writing exercise, which will be the basis of you applying some of the work that we're going to do. So I would like you to either pick, I want you to write a long sentence. And this long sentence can be, 30 words, 40 words, 25 words. It doesn't really matter. I just want something that isn't simple. So you can use a sentence that you wrote from this exercise, or you can write a new one. So I'm just going to give everyone like 2-3 minutes to write just one sentence, or just copy and paste it from what you've already created, and choose a long sentence that will be the basis of our exercise as we play this next part. I'll give you maybe 2 minutes to put that together. Just going to mute on our side here.
Should we post the sentence?
Yeah, go ahead and post the sentence once you have it. Yeah. All right, go ahead and put your, has everyone chosen a sentence? Let's see, Hugh, me, Ezra. Trent, do you have a sentence? It could even be one that you already wrote. And Nicole, just use one of your sentences that you've, like the first sentence that you wrote, as long as it's long.
Okay, let me look and see.
Okay, cool. And we've got, oh, here's Ezra's. And I see Trent working. Uh,
It's sometimes how fast my Dropbox works or doesn't work.
right. We could even use your sentence, nothing is more depressing than slogging through the mud and being unable to reach a single thing that's dry. Like that qualifies as as a long sentence. You want to use that.
Right.
Did you have something else in mind? Or even
It's not much different.
yeah, okay.
I'll go ahead and read it since my
Yeah.
thing isn't working.
Yeah.
This is from my book too, and it says the sweat now soaked my neck and shoulders as I glanced at my watch. As a glance at my watch told me our contest had passed the 20-minute mark, and we paused again to wipe our brows.
Great. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ezra, you want to read Hughes?
Yeah. In the outside world, however, a rogue breeze would chill him. A storm could appear, and he had no way of knowing, of preparing.
Excellent. And Ezra, you want to read yours?
Mine. Well, what about yours?
Oh, sure. Why don't you read mine?
From her elevated vantage point on the stairs, Jenny McAllister, lead investigator of L'Etoile's security team, scanned the crowd of gamblers for the elusive pickpocket, the thief who'd been striking every night for the last few weeks.
And spoiler alert, that is the first sentence of book 1. I didn't have to look far. Ezra?
It wasn't up to Jerry to decide whether his mint green blender should post bail when the courtroom was filled with laughing ostriches who counted their toes when Bill came in and threw bagels at the defendant.
It's almost anyway, non sequitur, like, yeah, good. All right. So now we're going to watch a video on building complex sentences, and you'll be using what you wrote. I'm going to have you tear it down and rebuild it in the exercise. But first, let's play. Let's see, optimize for video clip. Why not? Should we do that or just share
Sure.
sound? Rocket, I'm trying to do something. Is this it? Yes. We'll go about 4 minutes.
In today's video, adapted from Brooks Landon's Building Great Sentences, Exploring the Writer's Craft, I'll be going over the cumulative sentence, a sentence in which a single independent clause, which I'll be referring to here on out as a base clause, is modified by increasing layers of phrases, lengthening the sentence, ultimately providing the reader with further information. So, all we need to do to start off is get a simple independent clause. So we just need a subject and a verb and perhaps an object. So we can start with the man crossed the street. So we have our subject, the man, verb, crossed, and the object, the street. Now, this is a good start, and from here we can try describing the man. So how did the man cross the street? Now we can make this.
So he doesn't read this sentence, so I'm going to read the second sentence. He says, the man crossed the street, his hands in his pockets.
Even further and talk about the rest of the man. The man crossed the street, his hands in his pockets, his eyes focused in front of him. Now we can add an adverb. How did the man cross the street? So taking the same sentence, we can insert in between the phrases tentatively. So now we have the man crossed the street tentatively, his hands in his pockets, his eyes focused in front of him. How about we describe the setting? So again, we take what we have. Howling all around.
So he added the wind howling all around.
And how was the wind like? Perhaps we can enliven the sentence with a simile while we're at it. Adding similes and metaphors and other figures of speech can make our writing much more interesting. So our simile, the gust as strong as a punch, utilizes the comparative as, which compares the gust to the punch. And we also added encircling him, telling us what the wind did. Now we can talk about what happened with the man because of the wind. So again, go down here. And now we have the man crossed the street, tentatively, his hands in his pockets, his eyes focused in front of him, the wind howling all around, encircling him, the gust as strong as a punch, his coat flapping uncontrollably behind him. Perhaps we can even add something about the man. Right.
So he added the man, a 30-year-old lawyer, and then the rest of the sentence. And I think this is as far as we'll go here.
Now, what started as a plain
Yeah, okay, let me.
5-word sentence, the man crossed the street, became a detail-rich 41-word sentence. The man, a 30-year-old lawyer, crossed the street, tentatively, his hands in his pockets, his eyes focused in front of him, the wind howling all around, encircling him, the gust as strong as a punch, his coat flapping uncontrollably behind him.
All right, so we're going to stop here because he goes on to do like another lesson on top of this. Essentially, the next part is, oh, look, you can rearrange these just about any order you want. So just something I think you may already understand. Doesn't have to be in that order. So let's do an exercise. You all have your long sentence. And now, before I jump in, Ez, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Okay. I was really grateful for that lesson because it did something that I intuitively understood but could not explain. All right, so you've already done the first part. You've written a long sentence, and here's my long sentence. Now I want you to pull out the base sentence, meaning what is the core beginning information? So in my case, it would be Janie scanned the crowd. And everything else is around, everything else is added to that. So take a moment, look at your long sentence, and see if you can find the base sentence, which would be usually a subject, a verb, and an object, or sometimes just a subject and a verb. And I know in your case, Trent, you have a compound sentence. So just pick the first part because you have like subject, verb, lots of stuff, and subject, verb, lots of stuff. So just pull out the first one. So I'm going to give everyone a minute to do that.
I think mine is the first part of my sentence.
Yeah, it might very well be the first part. In my case, it was a little bit embedded in there. Hugh, do you see what it is for you? What you were
Yeah,
saying?
I actually I'm about to post it.
Right.
I had I kind of took out all the middle stuff and just kept the beginning and end.
Perfect. Yeah, great. So Ezra, can you read them?
Yeah, so Jenny McAllister scanned the crowd was Beth's. And then mine was it wasn't up to Jerry. He wrote, in the outside world, he had no way of knowing, of preparing.
And even simpler, Hugh, your base sentence might be he had no way of knowing.
Yeah.
That would be like the most simple. What we're trying to do is find like that basic sentence before we add things to it. Because in the outside world is modifying, changing, of preparing also is an add-on. Does that make sense?
Indeed, yes.
Okay, cool. And Nicole, do you understand what I'm asking people to do with this step?
Yeah, I just don't have any long sentences.
Yeah, you tend to write in short sentences, so
Yeah.
go ahead and just use the first short sentence that you created in this exercise for the purpose of playing around with making a long sentence. It'll be a stretch. All right, here's the next piece. So yeah.
I was gonna say, should I read my sentence or?
Oh yeah, go ahead and read it. That's right, because you don't have it in the chat.
Mine is just the sweat now soaked my neck and shoulders.
Excellent. And you could even take out the word now, which is a modifier.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if I should or not.
Yeah, go ahead. Read it without the now.
The sweat soaked my neck and shoulders.
Perfect. Good base sentence. Okay, and then we studied, we watched the video. Now let's play. So everyone has a base sentence. I was also going to invite folks to write a new one if they needed to, but we've got that taken care of. All right, now we're going to go through like he did in the video, and I'm going to ask you to add in a piece at a time. So the first thing that he did was he added a modifying clause about the subject of the sentence. I think it was his hands in his pockets or something. So think about your subject. So like in my case, it's Janie McAllister scanned the crowd. And if I didn't put examples in my cheat sheet here, but if I were doing this, I would do something like Janie McAllister scanned the crowd. I don't know, I'm just gonna make something up. Her dress itching her skin. So for example, that's going to be my first modifier. So I'll give you, I don't know, a minute to write a modification clause. It's not a full sentence, just a descriptive. It could be something about their clothing, their attitude, their hands, their feet, whatever you want. I'll give you all a minute to do that.
I don't know if it's okay. I just took another, I just wrote a different
Sure.
ending for this.
Yeah. The point, oops, sorry about that. The point is we're going to rebuild the sentence and using the kind of the prompts, and it can be something completely different. Doesn't even have to fit into your story. So go ahead and post either, yeah, if you Ezra hit return.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
And great. Hugh, do you have something?
Yep, it's coming.
Got it. What I'd like to do is
Good boy.
because there's like 5 more of these, And in the interest of time, I'm going to just prompt you and give you a moment to write them and go ahead and write it. And maybe we'll share it at the end.
That makes sense.
Just because if we had more time, I think it'd be fun to do it piece by piece by piece. But from now on, just go ahead and write it on your own page, and then at the end, or in your chat box or whatever, the chat field, and then we'll share them at the end. All right, so after you've written a modifying clause about the subject of the sentence, now add another one. I'll give you a minute to do that. All right, ready for the next piece? Oops. And my timer's going to go off. There it goes. All right, next piece. Then put an adverb in there to modify your verb. So for example, I wrote Janie McAllister scanned the crowd. I'm going to put in nervously. Not that I would really do this in my own writing, but let's just play. You're going to put an adverb in there, Ezra?
Need a verb first.
Oh yeah, Ezra needs a verb. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Is that all right, Ezra? Do you want me to give a minute?
I need it.
Okay, I'm going to give you all a minute. All right, after an adverb, go ahead and, this will look somewhat familiar, add a modifying clause about the weather. And even if your story is inside, like I'm writing an indoor scene, go ahead and describe the temperature or something about the weather of the interior. I'll give you a minute for that. All right, and the next piece, add, oops, this is a little bit, oh, okay, so we just added a modifying clause about the weather. Now add the effect of the weather, or how the weather is affecting the subject of the sentence, what the weather is doing to the subject of the sentence. And 1 minute for that. All right, and then the next one, add another modifying clause about the weather as a simile or metaphor. I think in the example it was something like how the rain was like a punch or something like that. See what you could do there. I'll give you a minute for that. And we're getting to the end there. Go ahead and add the consequence, a modifying clause about what happens to the subject of the sentence because of the weather. And if you haven't already, add a modifying clause about the subject of the sentence. I'm going to add in how Janie McAllister is the space station investigator
I see. So earlier on in the sentence.
earlier on in the sentence, or at the very beginning of the sentence. And that's the last thing. And then we'll share everything. We'll share our sentences. I'll give you a minute for that.
You want us to post all the sentences?
Well, ideally, this is one long sentence with modifying clauses. You're taking,
No, I mean, all the iterations or just the last one?
Oh, just the last
just the
one.
last one.
Yeah.
Ezra's been doing it. Yeah,
Yeah,
just the
I've
last
been-
one is
okay.
fine. Yeah, cool. Thanks. Okay, go ahead and post your final version with all the modifying clauses on it. And that will be that. And this document has a resource document has a link to the YouTube as well as to Building Great Sentences. I found a PDF of the course guidebook, the Amazon version of the course itself, and then he turned it into a book. Can have a link to that as well. All right. All right, we've got mine, we've got Hugh, got Ezra's versions. Trent, are you able to post your version?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool. And then Nicole, did you play?
What'd you say?
Did you do the exercise?
I tried.
Okay. Will you be able to read it to us, or will your computer be able to read it to us?
So the whole section that I have, because I don't really have like one long like sentence.
You do or you don't?
Not really.
Not really. So in this exercise that we just did right now, did you add more material or change?
I mean I have some more stuff, but
Okay.
I don't have.
We'll come back
like
to last for your reader to
Okay.
read us what you've got.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Ezra, you want to read what you have?
Yeah.
Let me start with
Trent?
sure.
The sweat soaked my neck and shoulders, and I struggled for a moment to wipe my brow. Even though Zoe was, annoyingly, just as sweaty in the hot sunshine, overheating my head and muscles, like a heavy weight draping over me. But her vision seemed fine while the beads were dripping down, interrupting my vision, blinding me, causing me to finally surrender.
Wow. Yeah, lots of great sensory details there.
A little over busy.
Yeah, some POVs, some misplaced modifier, but
Yeah.
anyway, you can work on it in edits. I like how it really gives us the sense, especially with that simile of like a heavy weight draping over me of the experience. I mean, but it's all together. That's the point of these sentences is they layer on top of each other and give you this overall feeling.
Right. And I think a part of the overall of this exercise, a lot of them will feel busy. Unless, you're, I guess, very cautious with.
Well, they're first drafts too, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you play with this, revise it a bit more, and keep some of it, and keep that complexity and keep that layered effect. Imagine what you could do. Why don't you read Hughes next?
Great.
Yeah.
In the outside world, an unpredictable, violent place, this cold and gloomy land, to buy a weak mage to begin with,
Yeah.
I guess, sadly had no way of knowing, leaving him jumpy and distracted in the shivering breeze, the chills all over him like insects he couldn't kill. That's great.
Whoa. Yeah. Great. What was that like for you, Hugh?
Oh, that was great. I just had to sort of leave behind the whole, it's a big gigantic run-on sentence and just go with the exercises, and I really liked the challenge of finding all these extra modifications and then the adverb and then throwing in the simile. No, it was just great, very inspiring.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah. I think they give us playing with language like this gives us some more tools in the toolkit so we can start when we want to slowing down the moment. That's what I think these long sentences are doing. They're really slowing down the moment and really diving us into this poetry. Ezra, you want to read yours?
Yeah. It wasn't up to Jerry, the elderly blender salesman, lover of cupcakes, a non-binary person with salt and pepper hair, to slowly stop performing the musical while the rain was pouring through the courtroom's broken ceiling, melting his rice paper ballerina costume, making him feel like a cupcake, dripping with cold, wet icing with nothing to lose.
And on the ridiculous side, but still full of sensory details, full of layers, full of like this wonderful convoluted. I feel like we were in some kind of fun house or something.
I like the
How
rice
did you like
paper.
it?
I like the rice paper ballerina costume.
That was very
Um,
vivid. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to try and see like how much how well can I stuff this this watermelon in the small paper bag.
To carry your metaphor even further. Cool. Can you read mine?
Great. Janie McAllister, the hotel casino's lead investigator, nervously scanned the crowd, her cerulean silk skin-tight dress itching her skin, the knot in her stomach, a familiar companion, the customary Arctic chill of the gaming hall, grating on her nerves, creating a tsunami of a migraine to rise.
Thanks.
Nice.
It's fun. It was fun to kind of dig into the uncomfortable nature of the moment. And that's what I noticed I was doing.
And I like the Arctic chill of the hall. That kind
Mhm.
of
My
Like-
girlfriend, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go
oh
ahead.
no, just
Sorry.
First,
Go ahead, Trent.
I was just, me and my girlfriend used to get in such arguments about itchy and scratchy.
Yeah, yeah. Itchy and scratchy. And when it came time to add a metaphor, I was going to say something about the Arctic, but I'm like, oh, I can just call it the Arctic chill. And I've done metaphor, by using
Right.
this descriptor in this way. I also noticed that I did a lot of repeating the knot in her stomach, the customary Arctic, which is the hotel casino. Like, that's just one way to put in a modifying clause, not the only way. Like if I were rewriting this and using it, I would totally, I would rearrange some things. Great. So Nicole, do you want to try and have your reader read what you've got? And it's okay if we hear the same thing again. I want to hear anything you've added that's new.
Okay.
And turn up the sound if you can.
Yeah, I did. I didn't know how high you wanted it to go, so I got it up to like 70-something%. So I didn't know.
Yeah, maybe 80%.
Okay, hang on, let me mute out.
We can't hear anything, Nicole. Are you running it?
Oh, nope, I was getting ready to turn the volume up. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, turn the volume up and let her rip.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she muted while she was giving her computer voice commands.
Right. It's a multi-step process. We can wait.
I can't wait, damn it.
Okay, I got it at 82%.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay.
And blank,
Oops, sorry.
blank, Nevin, blank. Nevin stalking Sim turned towards his group of co-conspirators, a large group of men and boys eager to change the intergalactic gender-exclusive laws that were causing an outcry among boys as young as 10 and men as old as 150. He'd made sure they had their thought shields up, just as it was now. His fiancée, Tulia, had just arrived. Fortunately, she was in the back of the audience, so she'd missed him handing over his expertly forged voter's agreement to the intergalactic queen. The rain elementals were apparently taking a vacation, as there was no rain in sight. The first sun's rays warmed his green skin, and he had to unbutton the top of his lanoid suit to access the inner cooling chamber. He turned towards the crowd of expectant followers. Marche, water circle. The closest wood elemental raised a wooden block in his left unmatched triangular hand.
Okay, that's as far as I got.
Got it.
Wow.
Got it. Thanks for sharing that with us. Yeah, a lot of details there. That's great.
Yeah.
Can you
Ex-
turn that reader so it can read to you a little slower?
What did you say?
I said, does that reader only have one speed? Does it?
No, but
it-
if it goes any slower, then it'll be too slow for me to understand.
So you like it fast.
A
All right.
little bit.
Yeah,
Not as fast as some people. I know people who have it go a lot faster.
that's amazing. Let's jump into Trent's words. Trent, can you give us a little bit of context and tell us what feedback?
Yeah, that would have been nice for me to send along.
Sure.
Yeah, let's see. I'm sorry, I had to, oh yeah, this is a discussion with Sam, the kind of multiple gender individual who has told them all of a sudden that he's not going with them on this trip, and they're like, and basically totally pulling the rug out from under their feet.
Okay, and the point of view character is Zach.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And is this which book is this from in your series?
The third.
Third book. And to remind us, it's a young adult dystopian set in Northern California.
Yeah, 200 years in the future.
100 years. Great. Great. And then what feedback would you like?
Whatever. I don't care.
Okay.
So sorry, so Sam is a multi-gendered person. Is he related to them? Is he
No, he's basically joined them from a different community on their first year, and then went with them the second year, and now she's preparing, well, everybody was preparing that she would go with them, but now she's, like I said, pulling the rug out from under them. And basically, you know, she's what used to be called a hermaphrodite, and everybody has a problem with that, and there's no good term to use now. So
and Abigail is the mother? Is that right?
Abigail is another mother. She's the one who's who always does the map keeping,
Okay.
and Diana is the kid's grandmother.
Okay. Right. I got it. Okay. And so, and their mother is not there.
Their mother is dead.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Ezra.
No, I'm sorry, Diana, but I'm not going. I looked over at Zoe, who unsurprisingly was rolling her eyes. What do you mean not going? Grandmother asked, her tanned hand on her forehead, her fingers running through her short graying hair as if she wanted to pull it. I mean, I'm not supposed to go with you, Sam said with exquisite calm. At least, not now. Not by this route. What does that mean? Not on this route, Abigail demanded. As our map keeper, her exasperation matched grandmother's. It's mostly the same route we took last year, except for several small tweaks. What could possibly be your problem with it? It was July 14th, one day before we were due to leave for our journey. It was just after the midday meal. The entire party was meeting together in the map room. Abigail and Caroline were standing next to Cynthia and grandmother along the other side, while Zoe and I stood with Moira and Leah. Sam was sitting on a stool at the center table, radiating total calm, as usual. Diana, Sam reached out her slender yellowish fingers and put them on grandmother's shoulder. Abigail, she put her other hand on Abigail's arm. Please believe me. You know I only wish the best for everyone. I know in my heart that going is wrong for me. It's not like I see tragedy in the future. I just know that I'm not supposed to accompany you right now. At least, not in this direction. Sam turned sympathetic eyes toward Abigail. I'm sorry, Abigail. I don't know how else to word it. It's simply not right for me. Grandmother and Abigail glared as Sam dropped her hands and folded them together on the table. Sam's small shaven head form was intractable as granite. I will send you along with my most positive thoughts. Sam brought her hands together once, then parted them symbolically, as if brushing them clean, a signal that she had spoken her piece, and we knew a clear explanation would not be coming.
Great. Thank you. Excellent. So you're open to, so let's start with what you like about this piece. Let's give Trent feedback on that. What you like, what you feel is working. Um,
I feel like the overall experiences and messages across. I completely understand that Sam is saying, I'm not going with you, and it's not clear why she's not going with them. And that's the whole point. No one quite understands why, and they're not going to be satisfied with whatever answer she says. She's not going to be giving a clear reason. I felt that came across well.
yeah, great. Thanks. Anything else from others? Hugh?
I do like the detail. I like the dialogue. I just found the whole thing very, very smooth.
Great. Excellent.
I'm trying to find something wrong with it, Trent. Give me a minute.
Give me a minute, give me a minute. Nicole, do you have anything that to add that you like about it?
I just want to know how much Ezra charges to narrate audiobooks.
We'll have a separate conversation about that. Excellent.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it was well done. So yeah.
Great. Great.
It's funny
Just-
because she actually, I mean, my friend actually reads this part of Sam as a high-pitched voice. So it's completely different.
Yeah, yeah. I really something I noticed that you do well, Trent, is like you gave an expression of emotion like to the grandmother here, and description at the same time, which I thought was very well done. Her tanned hand on her forehead, her fingers running through her short graying hair as if she wanted to pull it.
Yeah, that was
So you're
good.
giving me description and you're giving me emotion, and I found that, and it's also kind of it's also a piece of characterization. Same with, like Sam said, with exquisite calm. So you're really creating a nice contrast between Sam and everyone else. So now I'm going to tell you what I would love to know more. Since Zach is your POV character,
Right.
I'm expecting a little bit more injection of Zach's opinion of what's going on. Clearly, Zoe has an opinion. She's rolling her eyes, which I love, by the way. And I wanted to know, since you've chosen Zach as your POV for the scene, I want to know what is Zach's, response to all of this. Because right now he's like a neutral observer, but I really want to know his opinion, which you could use in here somehow, if you
Yeah.
want. Like he could internally have a response like not again, or he could have he could say something. He could be part of the people, we have Abigail speaking here, but we could also have Zach having a response that clues us into all kinds of things. Could be about the relationship.
I could simply have him agreeing with Zoe and when she rolled her eyes,
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, cool. So that would be fun. And he's still in an observer role here. So my question also is like, why is he the POV here? I guess I want to know what's at stake for the group, and maybe you get to that in after this, but that's my biggest story question, which is what's at stake.
Yeah, and you know, I have to go back and forth between the characters POVs. So so this is basically his chapter, and basically he's used later on to definitely focus on certain things.
Great. Yeah, and I felt like this was really well done. So kudos.
Cool.
Yeah, kudos to you. And I really want to know how this decision by Sam affects them, right? What's at stake?
It does have, has a huge effect, but yeah. And on the last word, I have to change that word just only because I think that needs forthcoming rather than coming.
We knew a clear explanation would not be coming,
forthcoming.
would not be
Forthcoming.
forthcoming. Good. Yeah. And in the subject of gestures, you added her gesture here that had a cultural meaning
Yeah.
to the group, which I
Right.
thought was beautiful.
That
You know,
was
brought
good.
her hands together, then parted them symbolically. And actually, you don't need symbolically here because you give us, you say, as if brushing them clean, a signal that she had spoken her piece, and we knew a clear explanation would not be forthcoming. So I don't think you need symbolically because the whole gesture is a symbol.
Yeah, I like it. It's real poetic.
Really a great job of using also gesture, how it adds to the communication. So I just also want to presence the fact that your writing is greatly improved,
Yeah.
and I just really kudos for you. Oh, Ezra wants to add something. Do we need to call it up again?
Yeah.
Okay, calling it up again.
I if you scroll up a bit,
Mhm.
okay, good. I kind of stumbled with it was July 14th because I thought maybe this was the day after, so there's Abigail demands, what could possibly be your problem with it? And then the next day it was July 14th. And then there's a description of what would happen the next day. Abigail and Caroline were standing next to Cynthia. But then I realized, no, this is just a continuation of the scene.
Mhm.
And so I was wondering, well, why wasn't all of this at the top or just kind of stated? I wanted where a clear understanding of the setting.
Where would you put it?
They were getting, the thing is, they were getting ready to leave in general. So this was the last full gathering of the party before they took off the next day.
Great. And do you indicate that before this excerpt you sent us?
Not really.
I'm gonna
Basically, it kind of begins the chapter.
Okay, so put it up near the top because Ezra's right. When we read, we want to know where we are as soon as we can. You
I
also,
can do that.
yeah,
Sam was saying that.
yeah. We also want to say Sam. Whoops, Sam said up here. And that actually reminded me of a continuity issue, not continuity, but we have Sam speaking, and it's 2 paragraphs long. Let's see, Sam. Right. Where is that?
After me.
Me. Okay.
Get rid of the.
Okay. I know my heart going is wrong for me. So actually, you could put this all as 1 paragraph.
Right.
There we go. There, that was confusing. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And Sam being multi-gender is a she here, and that's how you've decided to indicate her.
I've written a couple times that she is what she chooses to go by.
Yeah, absolutely. Put a period here. Now, this is very granular, and I might say turn gaze. You could say sympathetic gaze. Turned a sympathetic gaze. It's a kind of a preference.
It is a preference.
Some people say eyes, some people say
yeah.
gaze.
So feel comfortable. If you prefer eyes, you can keep it as eyes.
I really like this simile, intractable as granite.
Yeah.
and giving us some, that she's shaven headed and yeah. Good. Anything else from anyone else? Oh my goodness, look at the time. I'll get this to you after the call. Great. So let's wrap up. We might go a little bit over as we wrap up. Takeaways, ahas, things, and next steps. Ezra.
One of my takeaways was finding fun with describing weather. That was good. And my next steps are to incorporate having fun with description in my
You.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. Yeah, more fun with description.
right with
Great.
my edits.
With your edits. Excellent. Hugh wrote, I want to write more long sentences and see how creative I can get. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's super fun, super fun. How about you, Trent?
Well, as you know, I read that same book or same course,
Yeah.
and yeah, I am put in mind of things that I've kind of let go by the wayside that I might want to reintroduce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Work again.
What's that?
I was saying, or work at it again.
Yeah. And just a quick, if you want to get, like, I have a copy of this book, Building Great Sentences, but I can't find it. So I went on to, well, one, I bought the ebook and I browsed that last night. And then I went on to YouTube and I just typed in Building Great Sentences, Brooks Langdon, and I found the thing that I shared with you today. And he had a video. So it's a great way, he was my teacher today and he helped me build, and I used him to build the lesson I created for everyone today.
Yeah, if anybody, I mean, that was the great courses. Now they're called Wondrium or something like that.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a good way to.
Yeah, it's a good way to go. And then what's your takeaway, Nicole? And next steps.
So I guess my takeaway, I guess my takeaway is to, add more things about the weather. Like, I'm thinking, I don't know. So I have one planet that has two suns, and now I'm thinking that the other planet should have two suns too. Is that too many? Is that too many? Is that making it too common? Or not common, but too many?
I don't know. You could make it however you want. And it turns out binary star systems are pretty common, right?
Yeah.
I've been studying about.
They're more common than
what
regular, and they also have different. Some of them circle around one sun, and some circle around all of them as both. As single orbit around both suns.
Right. Or one circles the other. Yeah, super interesting. They just announced today a planet that's circling its sun and creating a tail like a comet because it's so close. It's being burned off its atmosphere and its surfaces. James, I think it was James Webb that spotted it. Great. And next steps for you, Nicole, working some more on the theory?
Yeah, so my next steps are so I started my saving the cat worksheet thing. So I guess I'm going to finish that outline and finish working on this section so that I can send it to you so that it won't be like, it's a week over and I still haven't done it, and
Yeah. Next time, shall we do some more complex sentences and play with a different kind of adding, or do we want to do a different topic? What's the consensus?
I really enjoyed this. I'd love to do more of it.
Okay. Yeah. And Trent, you were going to say
that too.
Yeah, I'll find another sort of sequence, and there's a whole other lesson where he's like, look at all the things you can do, and there's like 9 options, and my mind was just reeling. I'm like, okay, we just need one. So one of them and turn it into an exercise. Cool. And then the next writer up, I can't remember, I'll have to just write the person. And just real quick, I am teaching a 2.5-hour workshop next Thursday, NLP for writers through the other community that I'm in. I mean, oh, man, I should have queued it up.
Yeah.
Oops,
This
sorry.
process
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
seems cool.
Rocket, stop it. Rocket just jumped on my lap, making everything tough for me. So yeah, that will be in tomorrow's newsletter. If you're interested in that, it's like a $30-40 workshop and a lot of hands-on we're going to do at the Free Expressions community. And then on Sunday, the 11th is a writing sprint, the normal writing sprint. And then we'll have our second call of the month on the 15th. And then I'm going to be on a panel for women who are interested in getting published. It's for women who are running nonfiction. So just to let you know. Oh, and then March 1st, by the way, is World Futures Day. And I'll be mentioning it in my podcast. And it's some amazing international event with young people and old people, everyone talking about what could be and what they want for their future. That's kind of fun. Yeah, that's it.
The women's publishing event, is that a free thing? I mean, I'm doing nonfiction too, so what can I say?
Yeah, the panel is I can't remember if it's free or not. I need to look at the notes. Good, thanks for asking. It'll be also in the newsletter tomorrow on how to all the details. And before we go, yeah, thanks for asking. Before we go, any celebrations? Ezra, you just put out a newsletter.
Put out a newsletter. I
Oh, you
also
published-
published the paperback version of all the complete Sherlock Holmes stories.
Oh yeah, and you wanted to order author copies.
Yeah.
You can do that now.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's 400 pages, I think.
Yeah, a beautiful fat book that will get in the mail pretty soon when we order it. Cool. Any other celebrations?
Celebrations. I'm not dead.
Yeah. We start. Happy that you are here.
Yeah.
My very, very basic wish.
Yes. Happy you are here. And I think Nicole was I guess I want to celebrate. I did a big editing webinar on Tuesday night. We had over 80 signups and over 20 people showed live. And Nicole, you were there and you liked it. Ezra enjoyed it. Ezra was my co-pilot. We had a great time. I got 2 signups for conversations with me, which was the whole point. And 2 people asking me for the replay today, which was great because I had forgotten to do something technical. And okay, so the replay is up on YouTube. And I'll share it with everyone later. I forgot to queue it up. Yeah, that's it. That was my celebration. And now, oh my gosh, I have to make a director's reel, y'all. A 3-minute director's reel.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm gonna.
And I'm still waiting for the new version of my trailer.
Yes, thank you for saying that because I was going to use it in my director's reel. So I will be sending that to you as an attachment. Is that okay? A video attachment?
Yep.
Okay. I can even load it up into YouTube and if you want.
Okay.
Well, you and I will correspond about what you want for that. Yeah, I was going to use that. Thank you for reminding me. All right, everyone. Yep. That's it. I don't know if we're having pizza tonight because there's chili on the stove. And
I don't like pizza.
Ezra wants pizza. All right. I made chili yesterday, but pizza it is.
Yeah.
All right. Customary meal. And thank you. Welcome to February. It's also my mother's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mom.
Wow.
Tomorrow's Groundhog Day.
Yep. Tomorrow's Groundhog Day and my sister's birthday.
And it's my birthday the day after.
Your birthday's on the 3rd? Oh my God. Happy birthday, Ezra.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Trent. Happy birthday to you.
I'm so sorry I said it.
We'll have some birthday cake.
Now.
Maybe some cake. And we won't ask you. Ezra normally will sing. He can sing it in Dutch.
And Hebrew.
But we won't do that tonight. We won't do that tonight. There's a tradition.
I'll hang up.
You'll hang up. And in my family, we sing this Mexican morning song like Las Mañanitas or something. Anyway.
Well, Feliz Navidad, everybody.
Feliz Navidad. There we go. All right, and it's Bridget's Day, I think tomorrow, which is a Celtic Bridget, something like that. Okay, and the birds are already doing their mating dance here in California. Not to make you jealous, Hugh, but it's crazy, you know, Northern California.
No, I'm not
Okay.
interested in eating any birds.
Right, exactly.
Brigide. Imbolc, that's what it's called. It's Saint Happy Saint Bridget Day.
St. Bridget.
Yes, there we go. First day of spring in Ireland. There we
Wow.
go.
Wow, this year is just speeding along. It'll be Passover before we all know it.
That's right. That's right.
Pass
Great.
you by it.
Yep.
Right.
All right, everyone, have a wonderful evening. So good to see you all. So good to see you, Trent and Hugh and Nicole and Ezra and Rocket. Rocket.
And
All of a sudden, we're at the end of Romper Room.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
She
All
never
right.
said my name, so
Oh, but I said your name.
yeah, you
Really?
do.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
that
not
counts.
that counts. Okay. All right. We're gonna move to the next creative project. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Take
Good
care.
night.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
okay. Bye.